welcome to Spurs Vision TV. Of course, good evening to all of you guys in Asia. Good afternoon to all you guys in Europe, London, United Kingdom, right? And of course, good morning to all you guys in Americas, if any of the guys in Americas are still watching, right? Big up to the panel today. There's a debut by Ellie, right? Ellie's a legend,
Yes.
right? Used to play for Spurs ladies, right?
Yep.
And staunch supporter of Spurs. And of course, welcome back, Vibuff, right? Sweet 16. That's what I called it.
Now you're
I don't like,
flirting with
I
Ellie.
don't like that vibe.
No, I'm flirting with Ellie.
He's mine. He's
Everyone-
mine.
Can everyone please stop
He's mine.
flirting with Vibov? In some parts of the world, it's a criminal offence.
Guys, yeah. 26 days, right?
Yeah.
No signings.
Yep.
Yeah, but we
No.
signed.
No
We
sign.
signed. Oh no, we haven't.
No.
No.
I mean, I know you might find this really strange to hear from me, boys, but there's something that I think I need to say.
Oh yeah.
Levy out.
Whoa! Finally, he's there. He's reached it. He's reached it at last.
I have lost my patience, boys. I have lost my patience.
Job done. We can shut the stream.
Clip that.
And
Send
of
it
course,
to me.
today Spurs Vision is like being invaded by the Triple S show.
With the show side, Tottenham.
But we're all family here, right? There's no invasion.
I was a
right?
shelf
We just-
side girl.
You were really.
Oh yeah,
I was,
you
Yeah.
were
I was,
on
I
that
was
show,
going to
Ellie.
say I was too, Ellie.
Yes.
But I was a boy, obviously. I was a shell side boy.
Ellie, I hope you've never stand in front of me because I did jump on quite a few people over the years in the shelf side.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I loved it in
Yeah,
the shelf side.
but let's get Vibuff's view, right? I haven't seen Vibuff in like 2 months, brother. Where have you been doing? I mean, have you been following Spurs or you just been, hanging around, getting ready for school?
No, I've been watching all of the matches for Spurs, especially after Conte. I haven't missed a single minute of football Spurs have played. And quite good, actually quite good, but no signings and all. It's quite underwhelming right now. But if you look at it, our last 7 fixtures have been very poor, to be honest. Of course, the Leicester game was very good. We all know that. Chelsea game, all 3 we lost. FA Cup fixture, just managed to win it at the end. 3-1, yes, but the performance was not good enough. So, yeah, it has been bad, but Spurs, come on, Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. But like what Vibuff said, 26 days, no signings. But the weirdest part is, right, we're not linked to about 300 players. We're only linked to about 1-2 players or 3 players at the most. So this is some kind of a reversal kind of feeling that
That
I'm
could
having.
be a good thing, Eugene, because they say Paratici likes to put out fake stories, like to players to divert clubs away from his real targets. So hopefully that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
He drips it in with his reporter mates like a target, which he's not after. So all the other clubs think that they're after them, and they divert their attention to them so he can get on in the background with getting his real target. That's what he did with Romero, wasn't it? So he managed to get that over the line, I think.
So that means Dusan is not going to Juventus, but actually coming to Spurs, right?
He's probably the fake one that he's planted with all his mates.
Okay, right. And now there's also Cassier is not joining us, right? From being so favorite to join Conte, and he's not joining us. Maybe Conte has called him up. Don't come, I'm leaving.
Maybe.
That would be good.
The trouble is, the horrible thing is when you've got clubs like Barcelona, Real Madrid coming in for players, and they're going to think, right, do I want the hot weather and loads of money and possibly a chance of winning, or do I want the horrible, cold, damp Tottenham and never win nothing?
Yeah, but there's also surprisingly a lot of links going out now that our outgoings, like Tanguy, Dele Alli, right? Yeah, all the names have been thrown around, and we had to say Tanganga, right?
Yeah.
Tanganga's name is in there too. So,
Yeah.
what do you guys think about that? Let's go to Res first. Res, what do you think about that?
Tanganga should leave the club, but temporarily. He needs a loan. He needs to be loaned to the championship side where they play pretty rough, so he can learn to be a centre back, right? And that's what he needs. like Skip last season. You know, he went to Norwich. They, you know, pushed him about. He got tough. He bulked up. You know, and he got a bit of nous. That's what Tanganga needs. He needs his biggest weakness right now is his inexperience. Because and we saw that against Palace, we saw that against Chelsea, we saw that he makes mistakes, and the mistakes that he makes are the mistakes of a fledgling. So he needs to go out there, needs to get some experience where he's going to be playing every single week so he can learn those lessons. And then we've got a very technically good player, or can become an even better technically better player, who then has experience, and then he can be a good backup for a prime centre back, and he will get plenty of games when he comes back in that experience, right? Because you can rotate him more. At the moment, he's being played because we've got no one else. Whereas if he comes back a better player, we can play him in that rotational way. It's like, right, we're playing for the cup games and we know we've got someone solid and he can cover for injuries, or if we've got fixture congestion, he can be a good rotational option. Right now, he's an emergency, whereas we should be turning him into an option.
I think he's a good an attack hound, isn't he? If you think that first game of the season against Man City, when we put him on Grealish and Sterling, and he snuffed them out of the game, they just put him on Hudson-Odoi the other day, didn't they, to snuff him out of the game? He's good at doing a one-off, you know, marking job and snuffing him out of the game, isn't he? Because he's quite aggressive and on the front foot, but on the ball is where he struggled, isn't it? When he's got time to try and pick a pass, or the other team have given him that time.
He can't control his aggression very well, which is why he keeps getting booked.
Yeah, the cards. Yeah.
That's what he needs to learn.
Yeah. And the back and during the Chelsea game. During the Chelsea game, was it Tanganga who made the challenge on who was it? He made the challenge on the youngster. No. The one that Hudson-Odoi. No, not Hudson-Odoi, the young boy. Was it?
Oh yeah, it was him. Yeah. The fullback, the left fullback. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that twisted his ankle.
Oh, that was Doherty.
No, that was Doherty.
Oh, that was Doherty. All right, not Tanganga. That was Doherty, right? Okay, sorry. Yep. And of course, don't talk about Doherty. Why isn't there any links for him to leave? I know. Yeah. But guys, big up to Nicholas Collison. Yeah,
that's Barry.
Yeah, I know. That's right.
Barry, also known as Barry.
I know. He's also known as Barry, Sean, and
Grant, Phil.
Yeah, whatever we feel like calling him at the time.
Stelios.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to Viber, right? Viber, have you heard, right, news about Dele Alli being a hot property now?
Yeah, I have. He's been linked with Brighton, Newcastle, and Borussia Dortmund, which I'm really excited about, because if he goes to Dortmund, I think it will reignite his career.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say if he goes to Dortmund, we get Haaland.
You're dreaming. And Porto this morning as well. He's been linked to Porto this morning to go the other way in that Diaz deal.
Oh dear, yeah. And let's get Ellie's thoughts on Tanguy, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Tanguy's been linked to PSG, Newcastle. Who else? Or it's just PSG only?
Everton as well. Everton.
Oh, Everton. Okay.
Yeah.
Linked.
I think he'll be better going down to the Championship myself, because when you think about it, he's not at the level of Premiership at the moment, and his temperament is suspect, like Rez said. He has to control his anger, and with the Championship, they're not technically as good as the Premiership players, so he'll have time to make those tackles. And
that's Tanganga,
yeah, Tanganga. And I think he'll become a man and come back stronger, and then we'll see the player that we saw when he made his debut against Liverpool. He was fantastic that game. He was, and everybody was saying he's the new Ledley, but I think he can be not as good as Ledley defending wise, but he can get nearly there. Because he's got all the attributes. He's got the physical strength.
Absolutely.
He's just got to get his temperament right.
And the thing that people...
And he'll learn that.
When people make those comparisons to Ledley, what they're forgetting is that Ledley, and I hate to say it, he had Sol Campbell to learn from, right? Obviously, he learned to be a human being independent of Sol Campbell. He didn't learn that lesson, but you know, and Ledley didn't come in at a very, very young age. He was some way on when he started being our sort of, you know, our defensive rock. So people expecting Tanganga to be the next Ledley, it might be a little unrealistic, I think, because
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, he needs to develop.
Yeah, he does.
And of course, a big up to John Fitzpatrick. Thanks for your support, right, and joining the show.
John, good to see you, buddy.
John.
Yep.
Do you think Tanganga would go down to the Championship, though? I mean, I agree with Elliot. I think that's exactly spot on that he needs to do, like Skip did, to toughen himself up. But in his development stage, do you think he thinks he's already beyond that point?
But I heard that I think Tanganga Levy wants to sell him, not loan him out.
He's got an Italian agent, Eugene, which is why all the Italian links are. I think his agent's using him to tout him around to try and get him on better money or regular football. But he's got an Italian agent apparently.
Yeah, that's another Paratici game plan again, I guess.
Please excuse my chewing, by the way. I opened a pack of Tang Fastics and it's you can't stop.
Yeah, on Sunday show, Jamie was crunching. Oh yeah.
I use them as a half-time treat for my football team, Rez, because it wakes them up a little bit. You know, they'll thank Tang Fastas. They're like, especially if they're playing badly, right? Get the Fantastics out, Tang Fastas.
When they're playing well, you give them.
Yeah, I give them jelly babies. They don't need waking up when they're playing badly. I give them badly.
When you're playing badly, you shove them up their ass.
I don't see John doing that quietly.
But Rez. You have to ask Johnny how old are they?
How old are they? Oh, that's true. Actually, yeah. You coach.
You don't.
Luckily, they're older than Vibar, so we're okay.
Okay, all right.
They're 17 upwards, so they're adult football.
Oh, that's fine. No problem.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
The other thing we can do is pelt them with rotten tomatoes. Oof, right in the face.
I'd like to do that, to be fair.
We didn't like your performance.
In the eyes is a real stinger. It's true.
You don't get much out of the second half, though. That's the problem.
What's up, Del Boy? All right, mate.
Yeah. All right, Derek. Big up to Derek Hutchinson. Right. But okay, coming back again. 26 days, no signings. There's some link of our players going out, right? And nothing's been confirmed yet. I mean, there should be some kind of activity before the windows close, right? And that's what Levy does most of the time, right? Yeah, and he this like holding back, and then when you get one player in, it's like some kind of a big release, right? So.
But that was the whole idea of getting CONTE in. He said we need to do things more professionally. We need to do things differently, don't we? To act like a big club, do things like a big club, and we're doing things exactly the same as we were all for the past 21 years.
Yeah, I know.
Conte's blatant. No, so I was going to say Conte's blatantly come out and said he's got no control over it. So it's a shame when you think a man like Conte
has got no control.
All you've got to do, Ali, is you've got to look at it this way. Should we do things Conte's way or Levy's way? Which one's proven to win time and time again? Which one's proven not to work? Let's carry on sticking with Levy's way and ignore Conte's way.
I mean, when they brought Paratici in, I thought the idea was, okay, right, here's your money, go and do it.
Yeah,
that's what I was hoping. That's what I was hoping was going to be the process.
No.
Here's the money. Yeah, you got your £2.50. Now go and spend it wisely. Don't overspend.
As a young striker at Lewis, go and buy him. Sorry, Ellie.
Also, no, that's fine. Apparently on Sky Sports, if you don't get a foreign deal done by tomorrow, Thursday, then it can't go through. You have to register it 48 hours before the transfer deadline. So if we don't get any, that's what I was watching Sky Sports, and the top reporter on there said that if you don't get business done by Thursday, you can't sign a foreign player. You won't get the paperwork done in time.
I thought
very rarely clubs.
You know why, guys?
British players.
Before, big up to Adam. Yeah, big up to Adam Clark. Right, Toronto. Before I continue, I think you know why. Chinese New Year is coming.
Yes, that's right.
So all the businesses must be done. right? Before you know, you
Yes.
spot the feng shui, right? Before you spot the
Yeah.
feng shui. Right. And of course, a big up to
Hey,
Jens.
well done.
Jens.
Ricky
Yeah.
Villa. Woo.
And of course,
He's full
Inghua.
on.
We were
He's
hoping,
full
on
Eugene, that
SFF
Jens would be talking to us live from the Ajax training ground today because Christian Eriksen's training with Ajax at the moment. So we're trying to persuade Jens to nip down the road from where he is
Hello,
to
Brian.
the Ajax training ground so he can do it like
He hasn't
Brian does from the
interfered.
Tottenham training ground.
Yeah.
We can get Jens to do
Yeah,
it from
Mr.
Ajax
Daigle.
with Christian Eriksen. All right, Brian.
We need to find him.
Afternoon, people.
With like an enormous spoffle on it, one of those really big conical ones, and he just stand outside the training ground like that with it and talk. That would be amazing.
Get him some
would
red
love-
stripes and some M&Ms and some toast, and he'll be away, wouldn't he?
It'd be fine.
Right.
Exactly.
Right, just in case,
And,
Brian, just in case you haven't seen it yet, you missed something earlier.
Yes.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Announcement.
Yeah, he's changed at last. He's changed. He's
Yeah.
We got him, Brian.
We got it.
Thank God. Thank God.
Brian, have you met Vibuff?
I'm sure I've seen him on streams before. I've been on one of your Spurs wations with him before.
Yeah. Haven't seen him in a
Yeah.
long time, right? Yeah. And we just found out he's only 16.
Okay. Okay. So unfortunately, all you know is Levy.
Big up to Engwa. Big up, mate.
Inghua. Yeah, big up. Yeah, big up to Inghua. Right. And yes, Brian, any updates from your side?
No. I mean, the guys were at the protest today. They've gone today, but what they have gone and done is they went to the pub in Tottenham where we keep all of our Levy banners, all of them, and they've all been picked up, ready for the next few days. So there's going to be a few banners, and I know a few of my lot come in and have a lot. It's all building up to a head come Monday. I'll be back there tomorrow afternoon after I babysat my niece, and my sister can have some sleep after having to deal with 7 people in our house having COVID. My sister needs sleep, like all 5 kids and sister and brother-in-law got it. They're all good. They're all good. They're all back at school now, apart from Sophie, who's 2 next week. Day after deadline day, so she's either going to see a very happy uncle, which I highly doubt, or she's going to see a very unhappy Daigle. But she'll put a smile on my face. But my sister hasn't slept for God knows how long, having to look after 5 kids. So she's coming here in the morning and said, "Can I sleep?" And I was like, "Of course you can." Yeah. So then I'm going, but we'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday I'm getting there from 7:30 in the morning and staying till 11 o'clock at night. And knowing Levy as he does, he'll probably put in that 2-hour extension to try and get a fake deal done. So I'll be there till 1 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm there Monday.
Wicked.
And I'm going to see if I can do Saturday as well.
Amazing. And anyone that can get down and help, just get down. Doesn't matter if it's for 5 minutes or 5 hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you can't get down there, at least just retweet everything all of us are doing down there. Just keep retweeting. I mean, I've made it into TalkSport today. Didn't even know that. TalkSport did an article and had a few of my tweets and the big Levy out banner that we had on the first day we went there. So it's getting the attention. And like I said, the thing is with Monday, obviously, it's going on to 11 p.m. at night. So obviously, if you've got work commitments, you go to work, and if you have time after, try and get down. I mean, obviously, the later this goes on without what we want or players coming in, the rowdier it's going to get. And I don't mean rowdier in a violent way. I mean the louder, and Sky Sports won't be able to ignore it. So
vociferous, I think, is the word.
See, my lawyer's in the building. Every time I struggle for words, Rez will just help me out there. So it's all good.
Because I know, man.
Don't rely on me doing that, bro.
Yeah, shut up, Alan.
Vociferous.
Yeah, whatever.
And Josh says that Romano stating that Spurs and Porto are at the table on Diaz transfer fee being need to be agreed. Do you know what's the transfer fee that Porto is asking? They're asking for 80 million euros. That's its release clause. Spurs has offered 38, and it's been rejected. That's what the last thing I heard. Right?
Hold on a minute. Are you saying that a transfer fee less than half the release clause has been rejected? Color me shocked.
Oh no.
They've also come out that Diaz apparently doesn't favour the move. Apparently they're willing to accept 55 plus add-ons. But listen, I'll give you all a little insight into what goes on every single year. There you go. There's Graham confirming it. Cheers, Graham, brother. Just so I can let everyone in so people can see. Welcome to the Daniel Levy final week of the window bullshit production. which is what he'll do. What he'll do is put in random bids for random players way below market value. Just so he goes, oh, look, we put the bid in, we tried. We it's not like we're not trying to be proactive, but you offer them way below market value.
Correct.
So they won't come. And when you look at it now, people, if anyone believes that Conte actually wants Amrabat, a guy that cannot get into the Fiorentina squad, then you're very much mistaken. You're very much mistaken.
Yep, that's true.
Also, we've now reached the stage of it's too late for our teams to replace the players, isn't it? If we do have bids accepted, so he's got another excuse. Oh, we did our best, but it was too late. The selling club didn't want to let him go because it was too late to find replacements. We'll do it at the beginning of the fucking window then.
Yeah. I heard this morning Brian's favourite one, the one that's still in the maternity ward, Traore. Apparently, Wolves are still waiting to get someone in to replace him.
I thought they already have him. They've got this guy called Chicky Nils.
No, but Eugene, the joke is that Wolves are scouting the maternity wards to get Adama Traore's replacement because it's going to take Spurs that long to sign him. By that time, the baby born will be old enough to play for Wolves to replace Adama Traore.
Okay.
No. I'll give you the lay of the land just from yesterday. We apparently, in some reports, hadn't put a bid in for Adama. In some reports, we're £5 million too short. We need to get players out. Tanguy Ndombele has no future at the club. He wanted a club, which no other club does, says pay 100% of the loan of his wages. PSG agree. He then says, no, I want it to be a permanent deal. So he stops the player from going to clear the decks for Conte. We then put a bid in for this Diaz and we find 45 million when we can't find 5 million for Adama.
Yeah.
We go for a Fiorentina player that can't get into the squad, all whilst he's been saying we need to sell to buy.
Yep.
That's just what he did. That's just what he did yesterday. That's just yesterday.
No, smoke and mirrors. The smoke and mirror show has started. Right.
Don't forget Lamptey as well, Brian. He's too expensive, so we'll buy a lesser player who we need to replace in a year for the same price again, and we'll end up spending £10 million more than Lamptey would have cost.
Mate, I've said it before now, and I'm gonna stick with staying with this because I'm gonna get it to gather pace. Our one for the future tagline. I'm just waiting for Daniel Levy to go around sperm banks, putting bids in on bottles of sperm, saying, "Listen, there you go, you're one for the future. I'm going to put a bid in for this." But that's what he's going to do. That's what we're going to become.
Okay, all right, Brian. But let's get Viba's view, right? The India side of it, right? Dylan McCanday being sold to Blackburn. Wouldn't Dylan McCanday would have turned, let's say 2% of the Indian population into Spurs fans, right? That would be crazy.
Exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking, one day he will be the starter for Tottenham Hotspur and the support from India will go through the roofs. But Daniel Levy sells him. Like, come on.
Well, do you know why? No, the thing is that Markanday himself wanted to go, right? Yeah. He wasn't happy because he wasn't getting the opportunity. Bear in mind, he's 21, right? So this is the time where he should be getting regular game time, right? And because we weren't offering him that, and because we weren't organizing a loan move for him, he refused a new contract.
Right? It's not even that. It's the fact that we let his contract run down. He wants to bring you through the academy, but he lets a star run his contract down.
Yeah. Right, and that exactly that. It's just such terrible mismanagement. It's awful. I mean, any other job, any other position, that kind of mismanagement would see you sacked with summarily. It's almost on the verge of gross misconduct, right? Because you're either that stupid that you can't get this stuff right, or you're deliberately sabotaging your employer, right? And yet this guy has been there for 22 years, nearly 22 years. That's nearly half my life he's been running this club, right? And I cannot believe that there are people still defending him. Still, Even after all that, it beggars belief. It really does.
There was two on Mr. K show last night defending.
Yeah.
No
The one
accountability.
about Mr. K show last night. Sorry, I really need to make a point of this. This one I absolutely love because it's the same sort of bullshit that Boy Hotspur comes along, right? So it's a business, right? I hate that, right? It's so childish. And this gentleman who was on there, he basically said, if you come into my house, does that give you the right to ask questions about what I do and things? Like, no, but if I charge you to come into my house and you have no other houses to choose from, then yes, you do have a right to ask me questions. Okay. If you bought your house off money that I am giving you, yes, I do have a right to ask you questions about you and your house. Okay, that's the narrative. That's the false narrative. This idea that it's a business. Yes, it is, but it's a community asset. We as Spurs fans can't go elsewhere. Okay, we're not customers. It's not like if I don't like these Haribo, I will go out and buy something else. I can't.
You got Haribo?
Yeah, I've got Haribo.
Okay. Such a big packet.
Come on.
Sorry, I can't change my allegiance. I can't change. I have to eat Haribo or not eat Haribo at all. Right? I can't choose something else. And so that gives me rights that I don't have when it comes to Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Microsoft, and other things in which there's a choice, right? If I don't have a choice, I have rights. And that's the point. We're captive. So yes, we can ask him questions and we have every right to ask him questions, and he's not accountable and he's not transparent. Sorry, that was my
what I took umbrage to was the fact that he said Levy has spent money and the criticisms are unfair because he has spent money. Yeah, but it's the investment. It's him sticking his oar into the investment, which is the reason that we've got those poor quality players. He was trying to say Levy had bad advice as to why he'd spent money poorly on the wrong players. Well, it's him sticking his oar in, isn't it, and going for our second and third choice players rather than paying monies, quibbling around for the odd million here and there. He does it all the time.
Yeah, he's the one who signed off on all those crappy players.
Yeah. Well, he led the way to most of them, Ellie. That's the point, isn't it? That if he'd have paid the money for the original targets we wanted, we wouldn't have been on our second and third choices, scrabbling around at the end of the window due to his penny pinching.
Big up to Mr. K. Mr. K, have you gotten any sleep yet? Right, that's the question to him.
Traore, for example, if he'd have bought him at the beginning of the window, he could have had an impact in some of those games, couldn't he? And then you're looking at 50, 60 million pounds if you get into the Champions League at the end of the season. For the sake of $1 million here or there, Levy's quibbling around with Traore, and in the end, he's impacted the team negatively, hasn't he?
If you'd brought Traore in, and just for the game the other day when we lost 2-0 to Chelsea, not talking about the cup games, but just that one, he could have stuck with his 3-5-2, because Traore going forward would have caused enough hassle for them not to have. They
wouldn't have been on the front foot, would they?
It meant he wouldn't have had to play Tanganga in a position that he doesn't really he wasn't playing good at, and he wouldn't have had to play Docky. So it's two players. So he could have brought Moore in. So he could have played the front three, or Moore a little bit deep or whatever. But he would have had so much more going forward.
Absolutely.
He does it every year. That's what Brian's moment was Martin, but mine was the fact that every year he would quibble at the rate to the very last day of the transfer window on our main target, quibbling over £1 million here or there, and it'd bomb off 4 games, which is 12 points. It weaken the team and our ability to win points in those games to the tune of 12 points. Then at the end of the season, we'd miss out on Champions League by 1 or 2 points, wouldn't we? If he'd have got our main target in at the beginning of the season, and we could have had a better chance of fighting for those 12 points.
I promised Brian that I'd definitely be leaving out anyway if Conte walks, and I reckon by the 1st of July, Conte walks. Because
do you know what?
we need to do that by the 1st of July. He needs to have his players in place.
And do you know what? I wasn't fully sort of leaving out until quite recently, right? The reason I wasn't is that at the time, I in retrospect, obviously it was a mistake, but at the time when he turns around and says, we don't have the resources to compete, you can sort of say, well, we've only got a 36,000 seat stadium. We're quite small. We've been moribund for a while. So you can understand that being a valid excuse or a valid reason. But the stadium's built now. right? The training ground is built now. The game changer that he has said, those are his precise words, the game changer is here.
Yeah.
Why has the game not changed, Mr. Levy?
Well, as I said to you in that message, Les, at the end of the day, he won't he won't spend tomorrow's money
today.
He'll buy he'll use yesterday's. And at the moment, he's still got the excuse of, well, we haven't been fully up and running yet properly this year. We've had 2 years of absolute blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's the problem, as you say. It's a case of he needs to spend tomorrow's money before worrying about it.
Stell came out with a great point yesterday in that All or Nothing documentary when they were talking to him about his decision to sack Pochettino. He said, my reputation's on the line, I take full responsibility if this doesn't work for me hiring Mourinho. I understand it's an unpopular decision, it's all on me if it doesn't work out. It didn't work out.
Didn't work out.
Where's the accountability? Where's the accountability?
Not only did it not work out, Johnny, how scripted was it for that documentary that in Hotspur Way, one of the most up-to-date and extraordinary training grounds on the planet, that the lawyers and everyone doing the contract sit round over the breakfast table, not the boardroom. Because that's what you do with big deals. You sit next to the players with all your lawyers around over a flight. Come on. Come on. It's all bollocks. It's all nonsense.
And then he has the audacity to give himself an £8 million pay rise.
Mm-hmm.
Bonus.
Bonus.
You get the impression that's why Pochettino's
salary is the highest salary for a chief executive in the entire Premiership. So forget the bonus. Just his salary is already the highest in the Premier League. For what? What have you? I'm sorry, I'm going to start to rant. Fuck it, I don't care. I'm going to rant. What is it, Mr. Levy? What is it, Mr. Levy, that you have actually done to deserve the highest salary in the Premier League? If I was in your position, I would deserve a pay drop, because I would not have any of those key performance indicators. Do you know what the key performance indicators are, Mr. Levy? A club that is competitive, all right? A club that is competitive, and Levy gobblers, who like to fillet your favourite bald dwarf. Right?
Oh, I can sit down and relax today.
Argue that for me. Right? Argue that for me. Where's the money? Where's the competition? Yeah, where's Spurs being taken seriously as a force in English football? Before you start criticizing me, before you say I don't know what I'm talking about, which is one of their favorite refrains, you come and explain to me where's the money when we're making 350 to 400 million pounds of turnover a year. We're the 8th richest or the 8th most generative revenue in Europe. Other teams are spending more than us. Where's the money?
And whose fault is it that TalkSport and Sky Sports are laughing at us, mocking us openly? It's not our fault, is it? It's not the YouTube family's fault, is it? It's fucking Levy and the pitch.
We attack Levy. We oppose Levy. They oppose us. Right? What do you have to gain, Levy gobblers? What precisely is it that you feel we're doing to damage the club by protesting? If he's so good, you don't have to worry about our protests. So there's obviously something that's frightening you. Maybe, just maybe, before you start sucking his cock, you come and speak to us and actually find out why we're opposing him and actually open your minds a little bit and then get involved, because it's not going to change.
Yes,
but yes,
well
stop swearing in front of the 16-year-old.
Sorry.
I'm sure you've never heard those words before, have you?
Do you know? Not in the same
I
sentence.
didn't do anything.
Not all in the same sentence.
I'll tell you something. I actually got tweeted today, and I'm still laughing about it. I got told by someone that we should be happy because we've won something in the last 20 years and we've gone from struggling to get 8th and whatever to challenging for top 4. But I said one trophy in 20 years. Oh my God, how ecstatic. And I said, we were in the top 4. We're now challenging and in the Conference League. That I don't care if you leave in or you leave out. That is not progression.
No.
And if you think it's progression, then you got more problems than being leave in or leave out, because everything is on the decline. Everything, apart from the prices that we have to pay, or the fans pay.
Yep, the fans have to pay. But let's get the Vibab's view, right? You have the pulse of the Indian fans.
Don't give me a view on the swearing. That was not good.
I'm sure the Spurs fans in India were very excited when Conte came in, right? When the window opened, we were very excited, waiting for the players to come in. So, are they now jumping up and down?
Just back to where they were when Mauricio Pochettino was sacked. I mean, maybe a little bit too much. They are a little bit more excited, but right now in India, it's just normal. Good old Levy, what he's gonna do in the transfer window? Nothing. Conte is gonna work, is what most of the people think right now. And fairly, that may be right, because currently, looking at the signings and looking at the state that Tottenham are right now, it's not very good, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, I'm looking at no signings at the moment. That's why it's not very good. Yeah. That's the sad part of all this, right? When Conte came in, we get all high expectations that but the best part is, right, Conte being promised a war chest, blah blah blah, and all that. When he came in, it never actually came out from the club, right? It was just all speculation from the media, right? That we just thought of if Conte would have come, right, he must have had his demands. If not, he wouldn't have come. But logically, we all know that must be the thing that why Conte came, right? But what Ellie said earlier in one of the other shows, if I'm not mistaken, Ellie was saying something, right? You could see Conte's demeanor and the face change pre-transfer and now during the transfer window. Yeah. It has gone totally... Yeah. I mean, I don't even know. He looks depressed now.
He's trying to distance himself from it, isn't he? He said the other day, the club know my thoughts on what we need to do to improve. So that's distance. He said that's on them now if they don't do it. So he's distancing himself from the decision of the club, isn't he? So there's already a split.
I'm just waiting for that head of hair to turn grey, like Jose colour, and then we'll be like, oh God, here it goes.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's synthetic hair though, isn't it? So I don't know if it can go grey.
Exactly. So this is Tottenham though. This is Tottenham though, John.
Yeah. Synthetic hair will turn grey too.
Tottenham can make a wig go grey.
Yeah, that's how stressful they are.
Oh dear. But I've been saying all this while, right, Brian? From the starting of the transfer window until now, I've been saying Conte walks in February. Conte is going to walk in February. So,
you know what? I mean, unfortunately, Eugene, unfortunately, I don't think he will.
No, I don't.
But the story is gathering pace.
Yeah.
The story is gathering pace, because you got to remember, taking all of what we feel about Levy out, we have one of the top 4 managers in the world. Yep. Top 3.
Yep.
If I say Tuchel because he's done a good job. He won the Champions League, what he's done. But you're looking at Klopp and Pep, obviously the other 2.
Yep.
There is never ever in our time, in our recent history, or in the foreseeable future, that a manager of this ilk will be at this club.
Correct.
And if he does go, when he does go, whenever that should be, whether it's February, July, 3 years, 2 years, whatever, the only way is down for us. The only way is down. The only kind of players that could be attracted to come work with the manager is down. Yes. That we are sitting at the top of the mountain, about to hit the summit, and there's about to be an avalanche, and we're going to be absolutely pegged back to the bottom of it to start climbing up the hill again.
Mm-hmm.
And I can just see it now. Oh, Conte didn't. He came for the money, or Conte didn't come with the best intentions. It's like, well. Yeah. How many other managers, how many other directors of football, how many players do we have to go before you say, do you know what? There's one person that's been a constant for 21 years of this. For 21 years. Well, actually, there's 3.5 million that are there, which is us, the fans. And we've got no choice.
Yeah.
We've got no choice but to stay with our club.
Correct.
And it's not like we've got a gun to our head. We're dedicated. We're passionate. We bleed, and our whole week revolves around Spurs. Spurs can make or break your weekend or whatever, and it will happen till the day we pass away.
Yep.
All these other managers and everything come and go, but we shoulder the blame, or we shoulder the hurt, the anguish, the everything else that comes along with it. But still, this guy can carry on doing this for 21 years, 14 that I've been dead against him.
Yep.
And it just baffles me. I mean, I understand people like who are like 16 and have known no different. Like Man U fans didn't know any different from Ferguson. Like Arsenal fans didn't know anything from Wenger growing up. When you look at someone at his age or a little bit older, or a little bit younger, they've seen Spurs go from where we were, which wasn't very good, into this wonderful stadium, had Champions League, and to them it's incredible. Incredible, like a majority of them, they're like, oh my God, look at this wonderful, because that's how modern day football is brought up now. Look at that stadium, look at that training ground, look at this, look at that. All away from the actual aspect of why we support the club. And it's just not acceptable anymore. It's just not acceptable.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like Brian. It's like if somebody starts a job, right, and they're pretty shit at it, but they've got a probation of 3 months to prove themselves, to pull their socks up. The 3 months go by, you're still shit, and they still keep that person on. Yeah. So the person whose decision to keep him on is Lewis, isn't it? Because he owns 70% of ENIC, I believe. Yeah, so he's got to blame as well for not sacking his ass.
You're not wrong, Ellie, but it's slightly more complex because of the way in which it's owned and stuff. Lewis himself doesn't sit on Spurs' board. When it comes to sacking Levy, the only people that actually in terms of the letter of the law, in inverted commas, that can actually sack him is the board of Spurs, right? And he stacked that with what's it called? ENIC clones, I call them. You know, the likes of
cronies. No,
yes,
always cronies.
Right?
Yep.
Now Lewis does have influence on the board, in terms of, I believe it's Matthew Collicott, who's a board member for ENIC as well, right? So he has got a say, and obviously there's soft power in the background. So yes, he can really basically say, you know what, get out, right? But it's not a sort of the letter of the law doesn't do that. Now Lewis isn't all that interested, right? So he basically he actually wants Levy there because Levy is the one who is doing the work for him on the stuff that Lewis is actually interested in, which is property speculation. That's all he's interested in. And Levy's doing a fine job on that one, right? So Lewis, when he looks at Levy, he doesn't see a failing Spurs chairman. He sees a succeeding property speculator who's making his portfolio improve. And so expecting what's it called to do that, expecting Lewis to sort of rein Levy in or do something about it is not going to happen. The only thing that will force Lewis's hand is if he is also being embarrassed, because he hates the limelight. He hates being the center of attention. Do you know in the last 25 years he's done one interview? One.
We should send Brian to the Bahamas then.
Yeah, because he hates it.
Trust me, if I can find where his boat was moored, it's actually a viable option.
Yeah.
I've got a canoe you can borrow. Lewis start sailing now.
Yeah, Lewis doesn't like being spoken about. So what the campaigning that anyone might do has to also focus on Lewis to say, if you want to be a football chairman, this is the price. You will be talked about. You will be brought into the limelight. You will be mentioned in the press when you don't like having that done to you. You fucking wrinkled twat. I fucking hate Lewis. Right?
Vibev, I suggest you get earplugs.
Yeah.
But Soham,
get him on. Get him in the limelight.
Hi, Soham. Yeah. Let Soham have his rant. So
we've got rocket fuel. We've got Brian, Rez, and Soham on the bottom row. They're going to send us into the stratosphere.
Yes, Soham.
This is
how do you feel?
This is one of his tamest rants.
I mean, thing is, I mean, what do I say? I'm not really very disappointed because at the start of the window, this was my expectation that we would not buy anyone, and the only player we might let go was probably Bergwijn. But since then, Bergwijn had that blinder of a game against Leicester, so that wasn't going to happen anymore. Yeah. So my modified expectation was that we won't buy anyone. and apparently that's the direction we're headed in. So I'm not really disappointed. I mean, I guess I had very low expectations to begin with, but yeah, I'm not really disappointed. I'm not disappointed. Am I mad that we are doing this? Yes, I am.
Yes.
Am I disappointed, quote unquote? Not really. But am I mad? Absolutely. What the fuck are we doing till the 27th of the month? Why? Sufian Amrabat! Sufian fucking Amrabat! We are literally taking Nordin Amrabat's younger brother on the 27th of the month. What the fuck are we doing all these days? Luis Diaz.
Be careful, your cat might fall upside down.
Oh no, my cats are all right. They're sleeping.
See, I calmed you down. I calmed you down.
Just going to read something. Just to read something that Simeon's just sent me. It's a tweet from 2 or 3 minutes ago from Fabrizio Romano, which just shows how fucking useless we are.
Yep.
Tottenham are prepared to submit an official bid for Sofian Amrabat, loan with an option to buy for 16 million. Talks are ongoing since Sunday. Player only wants Spurs because Spurs are the only ones in for him.
Yeah.
And Conte appreciates Amrabat. Here we go. Spurs need to offload Ndombele and or Dele before signing a new midfielder. So you could have got him off at PSG. We're back to we got to sell to buy, but it was okay to buy Adama Traore before we could sell. But when it comes to a fucking guy that can't get into the Fiorentina squad, who we've been talking to since Sunday, a guy that cannot get into the Fiorentina team,
I think
that is being kept out by Lucas Torreira of Arsenal.
I think Levy out on the basis of diminished responsibility, not fit. He's see, it sounds basically like he's gone into a state of delusion. So a lot of us have our struggles, but it sounds like he should be on some kind of antidepressant or antipsychotic. So
I'll tell you what, Ellie was just speaking before about being on probation. Bloody hell, I could be on probation come Monday evening. Fuck's sake. Jesus. This is getting, everyone knows that I can go from 0 to 60 quicker than a Lamborghini on this subject. But now I'm really, like I said, this has been, what people think they've seen of me, it's calm compared to where I'm going. This is a disgrace. This is ridiculous. This is pathetic. Absolutely shambolic. Embarrassing. Once again. And the reason I go like I go is because he's taking the piss out of fans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We've got the 7% food hike so we can pay for things like Sofian Amrabat. Yeah. That's where your money's going. The highest season ticket prices.
That's not where
the highest merchandise.
Brian, that's not where the money is going, right? This is the big question. Where's the money?
Where's the money?
That's what I'm trying to get. But this is what.
But you know what? And I'm not criticizing you or anything like that.
I know you're not, brother. I believe me. When it comes to you, I know that.
When you say that's where your money is going, it's that would be the case if the money could be accounted for. We can't account for the money. 350 to 400 million pound turnover, and we are scrabbling around for Traore and Amrabat. Where's the money? Where's the money? I said it like 50 times on Tommy's stream last night. But for me, this is where the big question is. This is why I say it's malfeasance, which is basically financial misdealings. Because where is the money?
Yeah, we're like dogs under the dinner table. He's feasting on a roast, and we're being given scraps.
The scraps. Yeah.
So which reminds me, I'll catch you in a while. I'm going to have some scraps.
Okay. All right. Catch you later.
Danny Kiriakou said something very interesting on a stream. He said that a lot of the money's going to buy real estate around Tottenham to make Tottenham a nicer place and to make Levy even more money and to make Lewis even more money.
That makes sense. That would be, that would explain where the revenue is going. It's a valid explanation. But then he's turned around. I'm not saying that that's false because of what he said. But what he said was that every penny generated will be played back into the club. And it's like, okay, how?
No, it's gone back to the club. You know,
Yeah,
the property investment club.
Yeah, so
the property investment club, not the football club.
Yeah, I know that. I'm making the point though, Eugene. Right? If he turns around and says it's being generated, being put back into the football club, really? How? Where is this revenue? Because the way that the club is acting is not one of a club that is generating this amount, that has got the highest season ticket prices in the league, that has got the lowest wages to turnover ratio in the league. And when I say the league, I mean possibly even the entire English league, all 4 top divisions, right? Where is the money? Right?
How much is he paying to Mourinho and Nuno? Would that a lot of it would be going to them, wouldn't it, following his bad decisions to hire them in the first place?
Absolutely.
We should start calling Levy Harry Enfield. Loads of money.
Yeah.
But the problem is that what Rez is saying, that's malfeasance, right? The way he misspends the money, right? He should be held accountable for it, but nobody wants to hold him accountable for it. That's my question, right? And I've been calling for transparency, accountability.
All my investment.
What long game? What long game, right?
No,
how long the game going to be? That means we have to pay. We have to pay off the stadium, right? Oh no. Until we pay off the stadium, that will be in 20 years' time. That's before when we have money to buy players.
But again, by his own numbers, we're only paying about 30 million a year for the stadium loan. So again,
for the next 30 years,
but it doesn't matter how long it's for, right? And debt in and of itself is not a bad thing necessarily. But let's say you got 30 million that you got to pay for the late stadium loan. That's less than a tenth of our revenue. Where's the money, Mr. Levy? That's the question. That should be the first thing.
Rez,
on every
I know where's the money.
I'm not asking you to answer the question. The question is not directed at you. The question is directed at Mr. Levy.
Power corrupts, absolute power corrupts, absolutely. Yeah. And he's got too many lackeys to be able to get wedged out of the club. So he's thinking, I can do whatever I please, and you guys can't do about it apart from remonstrate and moan and protest and whatnot. But
hold on, guys.
Not yet.
Bobby!
Yeah,
man.
Bobby.
Oh my God!
Piss off, Bobby.
Piss off,
Bobby. Good to see you in the chat, Bobby.
I know, Bobby, that you've been on a couple of other things, but I've not been on those streams. So I've got to say, Matt, it is so fucking good to see you.
Yeah. You're gonna make me cry.
So good to see you again. I'm actually welling up a little bit. It's really good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you. It's good to see you, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Listen, he's Superman. The man that's just texted. It's what I told him when I saw him. He's Superman to me, because this man. The people know the story, that the heartache he's had to go through, the grief he's had to submit or endure, the health scares this man has had, and this man still fights and still. I mean, I was telling him how much he's been loved and everything when I saw him, and he's starting to see it, because this man is just, well, everyone knows what everyone feels about this man, but he is so goddamn special and so pivotal in the reason that this community is as tight as it is. And seeing him commenting on streams again, it's like I said, I mean, the time from when I left, I mean, he was the last person I saw in England outside of the departure lounge and everything. And then obviously I was speaking to him when he first got COVID and his father passed away. And seeing him again, it's just been like my left arm has been missing. A piece of me has been missing. And like Rez has just got him, it's just unbelievable to see him back in. I will say on behalf of him, like he said, please don't underestimate how much you guys have helped. He was telling me, reaching out to everyone, because obviously when he turned his phone on, it went absolutely ballistic. And he's fighting to get back to us, and he has been so appreciative of everything that's come his way. And just keep on fighting, brother. I'll be coming to see you again with Kim real soon, and just keep fighting, brother. I love you so fucking much.
Yeah, Bobby. Yeah.
Yeah.
And take
Just
take
don't
rest.
let him cut your
recover
hair
soon.
again, Bobby. That's the only thing.
I
Oh
did a good
yeah.
job. I did a good job, but I'll tell you one thing: I'd never ever cut anyone like Ilana cuts my hair.
Yeah.
So cutting his hair, mate, I was like Muhammad Ali. I was like, oh my god. And
Did you give him
literally
a? Did you give him a? Were you tempted to give him a mohawk?
No, mate, listen, mate. So, well, you say that, but because of where he's laying down, I couldn't get this bit back here. So he's
got a
perfectly
mullet.
shaved here
He's
and
got
here.
Chris Waddle mullet at the back.
On his back, he's got the start of a mullet. It's just got to grow up.
Bobby mullet.
I think a mohawk
Bobby, big
would
up.
suit Bobby.
Yeah, look like Mr. T, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
yeah.
Pity the fool. I pity the fool that supports Levy. I pity the fool.
So big up. And let's continue, right? And Bobby, get some rest, right? Recover soon. We're all waiting for you to come back, right, brother? See you soon, right? All right. Of course, the rest of the chats are giving a big up to Bobby, George.
I wanted to address very quickly before we carry on a bit, because we got to Bobby. I wanted to address this comment. You see, this is the issue. A lot of it, George, we are. But do you know what? That's the key. The amount that we spend on wages is nothing compared to our revenue. So again, it comes back to that question that we have to be asking. We've got to really put this right in front of him every time. Where's the money, Mr. Levy? Where is the money?
What's the percentage, Rez? Because you got your 10% on the
in a
stadium.
Swiss bank account.
How much is on the wages of the
about
turnover?
40%.
So
About 40%.
That's 50 gone. So still another 50%.
Yeah,
not allocated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, and then we have one of the lowest net spend in the league, right? Or more or less lowest net spend in Europe, right?
Yeah.
So where's the money? What Rez is asking is very true. Where's
Wages
the
to turnover is the lowest, isn't it? Reg, the lowest in the league.
Lowest, definitely the lowest in the Premier League. 100% the lowest in the Premier League by a distance. And potentially, because I only had figures for the Championship, so I couldn't check League One and League Two. But the pattern, if you compare it to Championship links, is also the lowest there. So if that extent, it could well be the entirety of the English league. We've got the lowest, what's it called, ratio, right? And
wages to income ratio.
The last figures that I had was when Sheffield United were in their second season in the league, and we spent about, I think it was 38%, 40% wages to turnover ratio. The next biggest club, or the next one on the chart, we were dead bottom. The one in 19th was Sheffield United, and they were spending 58% of their turnover on wages, an 18% differential between us and the next one up.
Shameful.
Yeah. All right. Okay, bye, Buff. Take care. Catch up.
Sorry about all the fucking swearing. Oh shit.
No problem.
It wasn't the swearing; it was the medical language afterwards.
Sorry about that.
All right.
Bye,
all right.
everyone.
Okay, take care, bye, Buff. All right. Catch up later.
Bye
bye. All right.
And this is the thing for me. We've got to do that. Our entire focus should be about putting Levy's feet to the fire and asking him where the money is going.
Isn't it in the books? It's in the books, isn't it? It should be in the books where the spend goes.
Should be in the books, but this is the thing. Who here is an actual accountant or someone who is versed in that sort of thing?
Yeah, Arthur is.
I don't think Arthur is a big business finance thing. You need like a team of auditors. That's why companies hire the likes of PricewaterhouseCoopers and not Deloitte, whoever the other one is. They are the ones that sit down and go through masses of accounts. None of us individually can do that, so we can't check it for ourselves. And if he tries to say that, we should basically say to him, no, I don't think so. We're not equipped to think, but you're the one running our club. It's ours. It belongs to us, not to you. Yeah, Derek, again, I know. Listen, guys, I understand. When I say where's the money, it's not because I want to know. I know where it is. It's not being used for the squad. That's all I care about. I'm saying we need to be asking Levy this. We need to be putting that to him. We've got to say to him, where's the money? Show us what you're doing. Demonstrate. Holding him accountable. When you say where's the money, it's not just to sit down and go, It's for him to prove that he is being accountable to us. Yeah,
that's true.
So I don't care where the money is, as long as it's not being used on the squad. I don't care where it is. If he's spending it on the squad, fine, no problem, right? But he's not.
That's true.
And so by saying where's the money, it's saying what are you doing, Mr. Levy? Yeah, what are you doing? It's about holding him.
I like that one. Levy
but
has two sets of books.
Derek, all billionaires do have that, right? That's the standard,
absolutely.
Standard operating procedures.
And so even if we were auditors, even if we were a firm of auditors, you know, we could go through the books that he gives us and it's like, oh, okay, everything's above board. No, it isn't. It's the eye test. The eye test is that our squad is absolute dog shit in terms of, you know, overall quality for the club that's got the 8th highest revenue in Europe, and that's the discrepancy. So you compare these two, you say to them, we're the 8th highest revenue and yet our squad is absolute dog shit. You know, explain the discrepancy, Mr. Levy, not necessarily show me precisely where every penny has gone. You know?
Yep. And Soham, for you, right, in India, we sold Dylan Makande. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, this was a long time coming. The fact that we didn't have a contract ready for him and we let it go into 6 months left, I think that's the bigger crime here rather than letting him go. Because if you look at the way Chelsea operates, they would never have let a youth player's contract go to a point where it's just 6 months left there and the guy wants to leave. Even if the guy wants to leave, he would have been made to sign a contract, at least a 2-year, 3-year extension, and then he would have been loaned out. To be honest, in terms of systems, I don't think he would have cut it under Conte because I do not think he would have played under a Conte system. So maybe in the short term, it's better for him. But yeah, £500,000 for Dylan Markande, that's just not good. From a financial point of view, that's just not a good deal at all. If it was Chelsea Football Club instead of Tottenham who was selling Dylan Markande, you would have seen them make a 10 million profit. 10, 5, 10. Yeah, the guy.
You compare him to Jack Clark, Soham. Jack Clark's is worth £10 million, and Makande.
Oh yeah, so that's where our money went. Week, so Rez keeps asking where the money went. Half of it went on the Jack Clark deal. The other half got lost in the Bermuda Triangle when his boat was passing over it. Yeah.
What Chelsea would have done with Markande would have been to loan him out. Okay.
Exactly, yeah. But to do that, they had to first get him to sign a longer contract. And that is the part we never did.
That isn't financial mismanagement. That's football mismanagement. Because what Markande, the situation with him was, the reason he wanted to go was because he wasn't getting regular football. The reason he turned down the contract was because we weren't doing anything for him to get regular football. He was tearing it up in the Premier League too. And so this guy is at least worth being a choice starter or one of the starters for a championship side. We could have easily loaned him out for a year, get him developed, but we weren't doing that. We were mismanaging his development. And he said, I, as in him, a massive Spurs fan, will not sign a contract with my boyhood club that I love because they're not managing my career adequately. That is also a failing on Levy's part because he has taken those tools away. It's not about whether or not we sold him.
I feel like ever since McDermott has left the youth setup, I do not think that we've been running it at the same caliber we used to run it.
Yeah, I mean, there will be a point where it is, but ultimately the story I heard was that all the coaches in the youth setup are yes men. They just agree with whatever Levy wants from them, and that they don't care. They're not there to actually look after them. They're just there to nod and say yes to Mr. Levy.
You get a salary.
And these are the things. These are the things that are problematic, and this is why no one can defend Levy. Okay, a stadium is not enough. If you want to say the stadium is an achievement and we deserve to support him for that, I would say to you this: he borrowed money for that stadium, put it onto the club's shoulders, and it is you and I and those of us that pay money into the club that are paying that loan off. So why are you thanking him for it? Why are you thanking him for it? You know, where's the money? Again, we keep coming back to this. Where's the money? Where's the setup? You know, if we had a great setup, if we had a fantastic scouting system, if we had a youth academy that was really turning out players, I would be less opposed to it.
Brett, stop it. You're trying to make it sound like we're a football club.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop doing that.
Yeah, I know. It's
stupid fans. Stupid.
Yeah, stupid. Exactly. You expect a football club? No. This is a property speculation company. So those are the things that you
wait. Property speculation company come event management, and what else? Entertainment center.
What's our nature of business on Company's House, Rez? Let's have a look. I'll just have a look. Have interest.
It's a good question, isn't it?
Let's have a look. I'll just do have a look now.
Yeah. Do a search.
You know what? I mean, my grandpa, bless him, used to tell me great stories about Spurs in the early 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever. And all the stories of our glory, the players we signed, the way we played football. So did my dad. And do you know what both of them always said to me? Do you know what this football team really needs? A cinema and a skywalk. That's what we complete. I mean, we haven't got. Come on. I mean, Jesus Christ. We a lot of people follow Spurs because of their parents or a family member or a friend, whatever. And you get to hear about the illustrious history, and you get to, what are we going to tell? Please God, I have a child. What am I going to tell my nephews and my niece? Yeah. Well, don't worry. I mean, the Spurs, but we're not in it for the trophies. We're in it for 2 pitches and the beers that fill up from the bottom.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We host Lady Gaga.
Wait. Hold on. The water park is coming too.
and as George says, an ice rink.
Yeah. You know? Water park, ice rink. What else do we need? Right. Yeah. Roller coasters. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Mate, Disneyland. It'll probably try and build a double garage on the skywalk. That's what it'll do. It's not.
I don't know if you heard or if you saw it. It was very, very brief. It's a tiny little thing. A couple of years ago, in fact, as well. They wanted Spurs or the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to be a venue for drone racing. Did you hear that?
They've already tested that out. What's the game of the weekend that had the stoppage?
Oh, the Brentford Wolves.
Yeah, Brentford Wolves. They already tested it out there. It didn't really work.
Yeah. They've got a number of companies registered at limited. So you've got Tottenham Hotspur Limited, Enfield Property Company Limited, Enfield Property Company Limited, previous name Tottenham Hotspur Academy. So our academy has now been renamed the Enfield Property Company Limited. You've got Nussbaum & Co. Rez, I don't know what that is. Tottenham Hotspur Football Company Limited, matching previous name Tottenham Hotspur Academy Enfield. Tottenham Hotspur Football and Athletic Company, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club Holdings Limited, Tottenham Hotspur Foundation, Tottenham Hotspur Hotels Limited, Tottenham Hotspur Leisure Limited, Tottenham Hotspur Property Limited, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium Limited. So they're all stored under different limited companies. There's no one big entity.
We need to put Levy in the Great British Bake Off because he's clearly cooking the books.
Absolutely, yeah. They're all
Isn't there anything called our current squad is limited as well?
Good one.
Squad's very limited,
that is gold, mate. That is absolute gold.
I think Levy took it literally. I think Brian's about to erupt.
Why should I erupt? Why should I erupt?
You have your hands on your face.
I'm delighted to hear these things. Delighted that we've got all these different names and delighted. Yeah. Because I support Monopoly FC. I've just passed go and I'm about to collect 200 million.
Brian, this is the best one. So the one that's been going the longest, Tottenham Hotspur Football and Athletic Co. Originally registered 1898. Nature of business, operation of sports facilities. Nature of business, operation of sports facilities. It's not a football club, it's sports facilities.
All right.
So you're saying we're basically
wait. But you can't blame that. You know why? Because I think we started as a cricket club first.
No.
That's how we were founded by from people at the cricket club.
There go Levy Gobblers, because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Do you know what? I'm going to cause absolute chaos on Monday. I mean, I'm going to cause chaos every day, but Monday when Sky Sports are there, I am going to cause so much chaos.
Yep.
Guys, if you go to the protest, and if the media come up to you and ask you questions, ask them questions. Ask them, why is Spurs, why is the umbrella company that basically controls Tottenham Hotspur, why is Enfield Property Company part of it? Why is Tottenham Hotspur Hotels part of it? And ask them, say to them, I want to know from Mr. Levy, where's the money when we generate 300 to 400 million pounds in turnover and are the eighth? These are the things. Put these into the media. Lewis will go mad when you ask them that. He doesn't want the limelight.
Well, no, the good thing is on Monday, he won't be able to wait till I turn my back to come driving out the training ground 15 seconds later because I ain't going anywhere. Neither are a lot of us. So he's going to have to come out.
Yep. Ellie has dropped off for a while because internet is playing up. Is the internet in the UK that bad?
No, it depends. It depends who you're.
No, Stelios.
Do you know what? How weird is that? You've just said that, and look who's calling me.
Oh,
calling you.
Who's calling you?
What's up, brother?
Ask him to hop on.
Yeah.
Is it Bob? I just switched.
It's
Stelios. He might not have enough bandwidth.
He blamed a tree though, didn't he, Jamie? There was a tree in the wrong place blocking his signal or something. Or
yeah.
That's now been resolved.
That was some kind of
a plant
main hub
growing
problem
in the hub. Yeah.
But coming back to it, right? Still not much confirmed news on any players coming in.
There's confirmed news. We're not getting fucking anyone.
Yeah. But I said that on the 1st of January, but yeah, anyway.
There's confirmed news, it's happening again. There's confirmed news, same window, same shit, different window. I can confirm that we're not listening to a manager. I can confirm that after everyone said Paratici's coming in and it's going to be different this time because Levy's giving all the footballing. Really?
No, that's proof that Levy has lost it. He's actually technically mad because madness is doing the same thing, expecting different results. Levy's over and over again. So Levy is not compos mentis. He should be put in a section. Yeah.
Okay, and institutionalized.
Yeah. Hopefully, under the management of someone that makes sure he is only released when he's well, which might never be.
We're fucking shit. We're fucking shit.
We need Gugama on, otherwise we're all going to do something silly.
We've got some transfer news from the official site. You ready?
Jack Clark's gone to Sunderland.
Sunderland loan for Jack Clark.
Yeah.
Well, good, we've got a player out now. We can bring players in.
Yeah, we've got a space in the squad.
Players in now. Here comes that influx of players because we got that huge wage bill off the books.
Yeah, we were literally looking at the Accrington Stanley goalkeeper a few days ago.
Wait, is that true?
You told me that was a joke.
Accrington Stanley. No, it wasn't a joke. Us and Southampton were looking, since Lloris has signed an extension, they were looking at the Accrington Stanley goalkeeper. Along with Southampton, we're looking at him as well. So as maybe a cover goalkeeper.
So what you're trying to tell me is we've signed Hugo Lloris, one of the best keepers in the world, on a contract extension, and should be using this time, like Arsenal, Man U did with De Gea, to scout Van der Sar's replacement. And the first person we look at to... I'm done with it. I'm going because I'm going to tear shit up in a second. And as always, Levy out.
Yeah, Brian.
It was only a news story on OneFootball.
No. But the point is this: it's credible. It's
OneFootball Google, but it was online. But it was
something we can credibly believe about Levy. If you said that about Chelsea, right? What you would say is either that's bollocks or they know something others don't.
Yeah.
Neither of those things can you say about Spurs. Because with Spurs, you can believe that we are going for the Accrington Stanley goalkeeper, even if it's bullshit.
And we're looking at some ingenue from Hull as well.
Oh, hold on, guys. Hold on.
Yeah, I know Cody's here. You can't believe that Spurs know something that others don't.
Hi, Cody. Cody, we need some good news from Canada, even if it's just the fact that It's getting warmer.
Have you defeated the snowplow man?
Hey, why don't I get my introduction?
There you go.
That's enough of that.
Yeah, I didn't get an intro. I just got hi.
Listen, if you're looking for good news from Canada, I got nothing. It's -30 out here, man. I'm dying.
Where did Brian go?
You haven't got Joe Biden as your president. That's good news.
I suppose.
They've got someone worse, haven't they?
No, Joe Biden was meant to be the savior after the Trump disaster, and he's turning out to be too old for office.
Who'd have thought?
They're gonna get Kamala Harris as the president soon. Biden's gonna step down.
She's only 29. They are too young at the moment.
Wow, can you imagine?
She's not 29.
No, she'd be more than 29.
More like 49.
Yeah.
No, actually, legally, to stand for vice president, you have to be a minimum
57.
80, a minimum of 80. Oh, 840, is it?
To be president, to stand for president, you have to be 45 minimum.
Yep. I know. Yeah, but hi, Cody.
Hi.
Cody, do you know any way of us getting Levy put in some Canadian gulag?
Some Canadian what?
They have gulags in Canada?
I wouldn't be surprised. Somewhere in the Northern Territory.
Yeah. Just we've got a special igloo built just for him.
Guarded by Mounties, I've heard.
Knowing Canada, if they did have gulags, they'd be like gulags with saunas and like warm clothing, and, like fantastic cleaning facilities, and the best food in the world. Because Canada just do everything nice. Not nice as in nice, but nice as in well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got our dark side. Don't worry. If we have to.
Yeah. But Cody, 26 days, no signings. How you coping with it?
Well, I think anyone that supported this club for a period of time isn't necessarily surprised by what's gone on, but that doesn't mean that we're not disappointed. I really thought that I really wanted to think and believe that the appointment of a director of football and one of the world's best managers would lead to a change in policy, but it's not looking like that at this point. I still do. I mean, they say it's the hope that kills you. I know, but it's like I can't let go of that little shred of hope that has me thinking that at the last second, Paratici has some kind of move that for a player that we hadn't even been linked to. Like Brian Hill in the summertime was a player that we acquired that nobody really expected that to happen, and just overnight it was snap your fingers, Lamela was gone, Hill was in. Yeah, it hasn't been a brilliant move so far. It was always kind of a move for the future, but maybe there's something going on that we don't know about, that we're not privy to, that something in the last 5 days here that's going to happen to give Conte a desperately needed tool to fight the battle for that fourth spot.
Joel just mentioned it. It was the Accrington Stanley goalkeeper, Toby Savin, 20-year-old goalie. It was legitimate. It made Brian so mad he went offline.
And this actually answers. This actually speaks to the point that Chris made. Yeah, I mean, what he's saying is right. Lloris is going to mentor a successor, but the other thing that Lloris has to do first is identify his successor. So surely Lloris has not done that to the point where we've already identified this guy as the next guy. This is another Spurs purchase.
Well, remember, Pat Jennings was plucked from the Irish non-league, so you can get good talent from the non-leagues.
You can, yeah. But you know what? If anyone else, if Chelsea, Southampton, bloody Accrington Stanley themselves, if they went out and found the next wunderkind, then you would say they know what they're doing. That's good scouting. If we do it, it's accidental, right? And it is, because we don't have the scouts. We don't have the scouts. He's decimated, more than decimated. Decimated means reduced by a tenth. But he's annihilated our scouting system, right? That's why Hitchens has been there so long. He's the only one. It's all analytics. And I'm not judging Steve Hitchens at all. I'm not. I'm just saying he's not enough, right? One of the things that came out recently is Paratici wants to rebuild the scouting network. If we had a decent scouting network, it wouldn't need rebuilding.
Do you think that's because the scouts are fatigued from Levy not listening to them on recommendations? We don't have any at all.
That's
David Pleat's our scouting network, isn't he?
Yeah. we haven't got scouts. We've got estate agents.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Right.
By the way, there's this French player playing in Ligue 1. While you're out there, can you just have a look and see what property prices are like over there?
Eugene, to make our mood even better, there's some breaking news from the Premier League as well. Following a club meeting today, the Premier League's COVID-19 match
at least 4 COVID positive cases
has been updated to include a COVID-19 impact threshold. As usual, they changed the rules after it's impacted us. It's a good thing for the long run, isn't it? To stop teams taking the piss. It needed to happen. It needed to happen. Is it 4? Is it, Jamie? 4 players? They've got
at least 4 players COVID positive to be able to motion for a postponement.
And then when something else happens and some controversy happens again, then they'll change it again.
There should be any special dispensation for COVID. It's an injury. If your player's injured, he's injured. You deal with it as you like, right? But if he's got COVID, he's injured. That's it.
Yeah.
Right?
It's illness. Yeah, virus is an illness, isn't it?
If they catch the flu, what do you do?
Yeah.
I think the only problem there is, if you think of it, is occasionally clubs are about to close their training facilities all down.
Which is beyond their control, which is government bureaucracy, isn't it? Rather than usual rules. Yeah.
But guys, we are into the 1 hour 21st minute or 22nd minute. I'll just go one round and just get your last thoughts on what's happening. Today's the 26th day. We still have not brought any players in yet, or bought any players, or whatever it is. Right. Let's start with Cody. Since Cody.
Yeah. Listen, if this doesn't work under Conte because he doesn't get proper backing, this is going to be a disaster for Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, you're seeing right now the likes of Aston Villa and Newcastle showing genuine ambition, and with owners that are willing to spend their own money at those clubs, I think that it's only a matter of time until they pass us. There's no way around it. This model cannot play catch up. This model cannot compete with the likes of having 6 other clubs in the Premier League that have more ambition and more resources at their disposal. I think the only solution in the long term, and even in the short term, is the owners have to contribute, or we're just going to end up in a mid-table scrap, and I don't see how we get out of it until we find new ownership, or the current owners open their wallet and start to contribute to the footballing side. It's pretty clear,
In one word, Cody, all you're saying is really we're knackered.
Yeah, I mean,
we need to turn up with pitchforks and flaming torches and.
Listen, it's a process that's been falling apart here for the last 6 years. Ever since we went 3 transfer windows without investing, Correct. You can't do that. That's why no other club has ever done that. You just can't, right? No matter what your ambition is, every squad needs proper maintenance and minimum investment just to maintain your position. We're still suffering the consequences of not supporting Maurizio Pochettino. And yeah, like I said, with the only source of revenue to go into the club coming from fans and commercial revenues, there's no catching up. We're only ever going to be in this holding pattern. And when you look at the state of the squad right now, and our 3 best players are essentially entering the autumns of their careers in Kane, Son, and Lloris, it's not looking very good. So something has to change.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a good one. Right, and of course, Soham. Soham, what's your last thoughts?
Sorry, Eugene.
Yeah, let Soham have his say. You will get your say later. Alan. Go ahead, Soham.
thing is, I don't really see anything happening this window, and the problem with that is not just the fact that it will affect us this season, because I don't know how Conte's managed it, but somehow he's got us playing a decent brand of football and actually got us getting some results. So even without players, I mean, at this point, I'm not even sure if I want to be in the top four if he doesn't get the proper players, because that'll just be papering over the cracks at this point. And if we go into a season with Champions League football with this squad, we won't be able to compete in the UCL. Neither will be able to compete in the UCL, nor will be able to compete in the Premier League. We'll just get torn apart. And if we don't make the top four, and if Conte doesn't get back, do you really think Conte is going to stick around? So I don't know, man. It's just a really shitty situation to be in. Like, even if we do good, we're in trouble, and even if we do poorly, we're still in trouble. The only way out of the situation, if we had actually bought players this window, but I mean, we still haven't been able to close off the Adama Traore deal, which has been apparently going on for months now. So, and this Luis Diaz thing is just a smoke screen. It's just another smoke screen to cover up for all the fuck ups that he has done throughout the window. So yeah, I'm not really optimistic. I mean, I'm probably being very pessimistic when I say that we should probably start looking at our next manager already. Maybe it's not that bad yet. Maybe a side of me wants to still hold on to that hope that maybe Conte will stay on. But if this keeps on going, and knowing Conte's temper, he'll just resign if things go on like this. So yeah, not a very optimistic take at all.
Yeah. He's going to get the same money, and he's going to get backed elsewhere, isn't he? So why would he stick around?
It's probably the other reason why we was at Accrington Stanley, not just to look at the goalkeeper, but look at the manager as well.
Yeah. And Alan,
put money on this. Big Sam is going to be our next manager.
I said that.
As I've already said in the show, I am ENIC out. I am really ENIC out at the moment because I'm so pissed off this window. 20 odd days, and we should be having at least one, if not two players in, right? And I'm going to apologise to Rez here, and I'm going to apologise to you here, Cody, right? When people make statements of why Rick Levy should be going, and they make them wrong, that's what annoys me, and that's what makes me make my little comments occasionally. We went 2 windows without signing anyone. It wasn't 3. I've gone through the history of Spurs.
We've signed Lucas Moura in the first one.
Yeah, he signed Lucas Moura, and then we had the summer without anyone, the winter without anyone, and then we went Dembele, Lo Celso, blah blah blah. Right. So, as I say, I'm okay. Yeah, I've edged over to the Levy out, but please, when you can have a go at a club or for a reason, then please get it right, because it's no good putting out statements out there. Yeah, it's no good putting statements out there that people are going to say, well, if you don't know the fucking history, right, mate, don't bother. You're talking bullshit, and they won't want to listen to you.
Which is why I say that the focus should be on holding his feet to the fire and saying, where's the money?
Yeah, as I said to you, I mean, I did listen to the conversation on my phone when I had to go downstairs, and I put a comment in. I don't know whether it come up, right? But at the end of the day, that was it. He promised us that we'd be run self-sufficiently, yeah. And if you're going to be run self-sufficiently, that means you spend what you've got coming in that you can afford to spend. Well, no one's telling me that we haven't got some money to spend on what you tell us, Rez, of our income. Yeah, no way that money can be going elsewhere. So, and the annoying thing is, I can't, when you see the Swiss Ramble or whatever it is putting out this, it always seems to add up that the money's going into the right places, apart from obviously the transfers. We lost out big time while we were building the stadium. That was what one of my arguments was, why we couldn't buy players. Was we were building the stadium, and we contributed out of what really would have been our transfer process, £450 million towards the stadium. Yeah, that is one of the reasons why we suffered. Our problem with Tottenham, and as I say, I've been a Tottenham supporter for 50 years. The problem with Tottenham has always been about timing. Their timing is never right. If ENIC had come in and got the process of the stadium up and running, and it'd all been up and running before Posh even got there, yeah, then I would have felt more about the argument stood stronger at the time it was going on, Rez, because you know me from Spurs community. Yeah, I defended ENIC because I just didn't think they could spend money at the top, the money we needed to spend to make sure we made us stronger, and it was just timing. If Poch,
I was the same. I was the same, Alan. I said while White Hart Lane was still around, I can understand us being more frugal. The thing that tipped me over, the thing that really tipped me over, was when I found out that our revenue was actually a lot higher than I thought, and also the ESL debacle as well. That also
me and you will have a discussion about one day about the ESL, because my views on that is, I think if they hadn't gone in it would have been the end of us anyway.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, because look, it would only been 20 clubs, right?
Yeah,
it would only been 20 clubs. The rest of the footballing world would not have disappeared because of the ESL. No. It would have continued in some form, and I would have been happier being in that lower tier and competing rather than in that top tier. Yeah. I would happily trade that, because that. But the
TV deals we get are because of Man United's, the Liverpool's. That's one of the reasons why we get such big TV deals, because of the audience it brings in.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Listen, no, but that's why
everyone out of the ESL would have suffered. I would have preferred to have been in the group suffering, but at least knowing that there's an actual competition to play for, than watch the bells and whistles. Because in actual fact, it's that bells and whistles that has enabled Levy to act the way he has with all the entertainment complex, because he is one of those that treats football and what his poisoned witch Auntie Donna put the words in his mouth to refer to us as legacy fans, because one of the problems is that he wants to turn, along with the Cronkies, the Glazers, that lot, they want to turn football into a product.
Entertainment. Entertainment
product that has there's no loyalty, there's no sense of history. And this is what gets me about the Levy Gobblers. They keep attacking the Levy Outers for not knowing their history, and yet they're supporting a man who wants to destroy the history of every football club.
I do agree with you. I do agree
into clones. And that's the thing for me. This is what gets to me, and that's why I'm against him, because it's not the fact that it was the ESL. It's the fact that he wanted to turn football, when he claims to be a fan himself, into a product.
Yeah,
right.
That was
and
the one
what
thing
tipped me even further.
Don't get me wrong. Because don't get me wrong, I didn't want the ESL. I mean, I was fuming myself.
But guys, the ESL, we'll do another show on the ESL. Let's get Johnny's last thoughts.
I haven't got any. I was quite enjoying listening to Rez and Alan go on.
Well, you can wait for Thursday.
Switched off mentally,
Minimum have round 2 on Thursday night.
We'll crack on to it, So nothing meaningful to add to the conversation, Eugene.
Yep. And of course, Rez, I'm sure you've said a lot, right? Anything else you want to add?
Not much else to add, really. There really isn't. It's. I just would hope that people will have enough nous to understand that the one constant since they took over, that basically has led us to this place where we have a heavily depleted squad, a squad that is not competitive. See you later, take care.
Bye-bye.
This heavily depleted squad and a club that is just no longer competitive, and a club that is laughed at, is viewed with derision. Right. Even I know you said, Alan, the other day that they still laughed at us. Yeah, it was, but it was the laughter of fear. It was the laughter that's brought up against something that constitutes a threat to you. Spurs right now don't constitute a threat to anyone, and everyone knows it. Right? Not to the big.
Well, maybe to their own existence.
Yeah, exactly. And that brings about the laughter of derision. And they laugh at us derisorily now, rather than laughing out of fear, and that is entirely on Levy, right?
Well, at least Arsenal haven't got Vlahovic, and
the last part is that
haven't got Demaris.
And the last part is that I guess the three of you going to plug your channel. Cody has left. Cody's going to go to work.
The three of us are on the same channel.
So plug it.
I was going to plug Cody's channel. He's disappeared.
Cody's got to go to work.
Yeah, Shelfside Spurs show Thursdays about 7:30. We've got some exciting things coming up in the pipeline, which we'll be announcing this week because it's happening the following week. So everyone wants to tune in this Thursday at 7. You'll find out the exciting news which we've got to announce. Thanks to Big Al over there in No Part.
I had my
Don't say
some
anything,
big-
though, Alan.
Yeah, don't say anything.
Don't tell us. Don't.
They've got to tune in and subscribe on Thursday to find out, right at the end of the show. So we've gotten past our however many minutes you get to get you a kudos. So Shelfside Spurs show. Thanks to Eugene for having us on.
Pleasure to have you guys on.
Eugene's show.
Well, this is the 4 S's. The Spurswation Shelfside Spurs show.
Yep.
You've only got 4 S now.
Extra S for S.
S on it.
S. Yep, guys. Last words from any of you before I put you in the back room?
Well, we should have been saying every piece of conversation we made should have been doing the Mr. K. Leave it out. And another thing, leave it out. Another thing, leave it out. What did I say? Leave it out? I know. I don't think I said that. I said leave it out.
Yeah. All right. We'll go there. All right, guys. I'll catch up with you in the back room while me and Jamie just do the closing. All right. Catch up later. Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.
All right, Jamie. It was a good show. Before we go, just give a shout out to the guys in chats, right? Especially Ellie. Right, Ellie, big up to Ellie. Personally hate the new stadium.
Adam Clark, Alex Hilton, Chris Agambar, George,
Paul Brown. Yeah,
Derek Hutchinson,
Chris Agambar. Yeah, who else do we have? Right.
Engwa, Graham, Girl 58.
Yep, Graham.
Bob Spur.
Yes,
come on, you Bob Spur. Come on, you Bob Spur. Okay.
Yes, and who else do we have? Mr.
Scrolling,
K.
I'm scrolling. Do we
K.
have anyone else?
Yep, George. Right.
John Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick. Jens. Yes, Jens. Right.
And Nicholas Collingson.
Yep, Nicholas Collingson, Barry or Sean or what else does he have in his nickname? Right. And of course, who else do we have? Right.
That was it. You and me.
Yep, you and I. Right. All right, guys. Last words, Jamie?
Well, until it happens, sign somebody decent and leave it out.
Right. Don't forget. Right. What are you going to say again?
Levy out.
Levy out.